Welcome to my portfolio reveal part 3 out of 3. I've done 2 videos revealing my first 2 accounts in the past. I will leave the links in the pinned comment so you can check it out. In this particular account, account 3 of 3, I have deposited a total of $52,496. As you can see on the screen, in 2020, I actually started this account in July of 2020. So by the end of 2020, I had deposited $17,200. 2021, I have deposited an additional $12,900. 2022, additional $8,300. 2023, $7,596. And 2024, that this year, I've deposited about $6,500. So overall, the deposited amount is $52,496. It's important to understand that the deposited amount is through the years, and I did not have $52,496 deposited in 2020. Now let me show you the returns. As you can see on the screen, this is in Robinhood. So it shows an overall gain, all-time gain of about $40,078. That's about 76% all-time. Again, when Robinhood shows the gains, it shows the total invested amount as $52,409 here, but it thinks as if I have invested that amount or deposited that amount on day one, which is July of 2020, and that's not the case. So this 76% gain in 4 years seems like less, but please note that I have not deposited the money of $52,000 back in 2020. It's staggered amount, right? So I wanted to compare my performance with VOO, that's the S&P 500 ETF, and also QQQ, that's the tech heavy ETF. So those are typically the benchmarks in the United States. So what I have done is, you can see on the screen, I have made a small spreadsheet and I have recorded the dates on which I have deposited money. So in Robinhood statements, I could get that information. And what I have done is I picked the dates and the amount I have deposited, and I have written a little code to track the VOO price on that particular day and how many shares would I have gotten if I had purchased VOO stock on that particular day when I have deposited the money. And I've done the same thing with QQQ. So you can see on the screen, each date I have the amount deposited and the QQQ close price there and VOO close price there. So overall, if I had invested the same money, $52,496 in VOO, I would have had 43% gain. If I had invested all my money in QQQ, I would have had 53% gain. But since I picked some individual stocks, by the way, it also includes crypto, the gain is 76%. So for the past 4 years, I have handsomely beaten VOO and QQQ. And again, I do not know whether I can be able to do that in future. So this doesn't prove anything. I'm not bragging that I was able to beat the benchmarks over a period of 4 years. I'm just giving you some information that my portfolio performance is benchmarked against the 2 most famous benchmarks in the US, and I'm comparing my performance. So it doesn't mean anything if I have beaten them or if I have not beaten them. I'm just showing my portfolio performance, right? So if you look into the amounts, I've gained close to $39,814. Again, the numbers will be slightly off. I have shown you $40,000 gain, but here it's $39,814 because I've drawn the graphs a day earlier. VOO, if I had put my money, $52,490, I would have gotten $22,500 of profit. If I had put the same money in QQQ, I would have gotten $27,982. So that's profit in USD and profit in percentage. Now let me show you my top holdings. I actually have 27 stocks in this portfolio, and I hold 2 cryptos, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let me show you the cryptos first. So Bitcoin, as you can see on the screen, the gain is 318%. I did not invest much. I only had zero point 0.1 Bitcoin, and I have invested it at a price of $23,910. So I only put close to $2,400 in Bitcoin, which is less than 5% of my total portfolio. So, but it gained significantly, 318%. So that's it's close to $10,000 now. So the gain is 318%. And Ethereum, I have close to 1.7 Ethereum at an average cost of $2,000 roughly. And now Ethereum is at $4,000 roughly, so that's about 94% gain. So now I got the cryptos out, and I'm not comfortable owning any other crypto other than Bitcoin and Ethereum. I do understand they do not have any intrinsic value. They are speculative assets in a way. Maybe I should not even call them assets, but I think they have some value. I personally feel that they would be here forever, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and which is why I put a small amount of my money in that crypto. So let me put that away. Let's look at my top holdings. I will show top gainers and top losers. By the way, back in 2021 and 2022, I've invested in a lot of stocks without knowing any fundamentals. I have simply put money based on what people told me, without looking into the fundamentals. I don't know why I did it. Like Clover Health, I lost like 90% of my investment. Root, I lost 90% of my investment. Skills, I lost 90% of my investment. Sorrento Therapeutics, I lost 90% of my investment. So I've lost 90% of investment on a lot of stocks. That's why if you look into my portfolio performance graph, let me show it to you real quick. Yeah, at one point of time I was down like 30%. Overall portfolio was down 30% because I've invested in all these garbage stocks. And then I realized that I cannot just go off of somebody's word. I have to look into the financials, the growth prospects, the balance sheet, etc. So that's when I've sold all of that junk. I took a huge loss, and then I reinvested that money in 2023 and 2024, and that's how I could recover this portfolio. Otherwise it would have been really, really tough. So with that out of the way, let me show you the top gainers. Out of these 27 stocks, about 9 of them, like 1/3 of them, have gained more than 100%. Iron Mountain, you probably would not have heard about this company. I've made a post about it in the past few weeks. It actually pays me 10% dividend, by the way, because I bought it at about $35. And at that time, the dividend was 10%. Now it pretty much quadrupled, but I still continue to get that 10% dividend. Nubank, 179%. SoFi, 161. Datadog, by the way, I did a video on Datadog when it was trading at $65, and I said it could be a multi-bagger. So please check that video out. Now it's too late to buy because it's already up 152%. SE, even for C Limited, I have done multiple videos on why it could be a multi-bagger. ExxonMobil, I bought it way earlier, like 2020. Zscaler, again, I made a video when it was trading at $95 and I said it will double. So it's at 141%. Again, Lending Club, I made too many posts on it already. And Toast, I just bought it less than a year ago and it did 127%. And AbbVie is one of my favorite stocks. I bought it at a very good, I followed it for a while and I looked for a weakness and I bought it then. That's why it's up about 89%, and it also pays more than 5% dividend, right? So that's a dividend play. I'm holding it forever. Then Apple, Sentinel one, again, I caught it at $13. I followed the stock for a while. If you notice, I've made 3 or 4 videos on it. I made a video when it was at $27, $20, $13. I made a video and I said it's a great opportunity. That's when I bought 200 shares at $13. Now it's close to $25. I don't think it's going back to 13. So I got it at a good price. Zillow, I made a video a few months ago and I said it'll double. So Google, Fortinet, again, that's one of the cybersecurity holding that I have. Fortinet, SentinelOne, and CrowdStrike. I got out of CrowdStrike because it was too expensive. And JD, Snow, Elf. Again, I don't know how useful this would be. That's why I'm not going to spend too much time on these. So I'll keep it on the screen so you can pause it and see what these holdings are. Let me show you some proofs. I just picked some of them, like C Limited, I have proof that how many I own and how much is my gain. Sentinel One, JD.com, Enphase Energy. So yeah, so these are my holdings in account 3 of 3. I'm happy with the gains. Again, looking back, I could have done way better with this account. Even though I have handsomely beaten QQQ and VOO, which are considered benchmarks, if I had known that I should follow the fundamentals and dig deep into the business model rather than following somebody who says this is going to do a 10x and this is going to be a disruptive company, right? So the profile started in July of 2020 and it was down significantly in 2021 2022 because I followed hype. And once I realized that investing needs to have some research, I need to follow some serious content creators rather than someone who hypes it up, right? That's when I've sold all that junk. It was hard. It was very hard to sell some of the stocks that lost 90% of the value, but then it had to be done, and that's the right thing to do, and that's what I did. And I shifted that money into stocks that I thought were in a good position, like good balance sheet, good value proposition, good growth potential, and good valuation. And that's how I could get these returns. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.